Hello, this is Run the Numbers. My name is Jason, and you're watching this video on the Run the Numbers channel, but specifically this is part of the warm-up series. So we are on the go. Yep, being part of the warm-up series is, we're gonna have some bumps and some shaking and maybe a whole lot of road noise and all these things that might give it a little bit of trouble to follow along, but nonetheless, it's still fun as I'm in motion, on the go, walking through the streets of Los Angeles, California. And also this video is part of the 100 videos challenge. That's 100 videos I'm trying to create and publish onto YouTube all in 100 days. Yes, I've challenged myself to roughly publish one video each day for 100 days, which puts quite an aggressive pace in front of me to create a whole lot of content, but all this content is all in an effort to help you on your personal finance journey. Okay, with all that said, let's talk a little bit today. Let's jump right in and give you a little bit of an update that I last made a video that said I signed up for Robinhood. Now I'll put the link to that video in the description, and I discuss a little bit about how it's been quite an easy and just everything's been rather convenient of a process to sign up so far. I want to give a little bit of an update, and also this is in an effort to give something of a balance, that there are some parts that have not I wouldn't say that have gone awry, I guess, that have not gone well, in that expectations did not meet reality. So there is a little bit of motivation simply of making this video just to show, I'm not fully, just marketing for Robinhood. I'm no way paid or no way sponsored or no way representing Robinhood in any way. If they'd like to open that door, please please let me know. I'll consider what that might mean. But for right now, I want to give something of fair and balanced. So I'm going to point out right here in this video some difficulties with funding, with connecting in to my Robinhood account. That's specifically done through a couple of different ways that I've tried and had some issues. And so I kind of want to talk about kind of what that was all about, and basically give you my real world experience as to some of the things, as I said, where expectations didn't meet reality. Okay, so where I am here in this process is I've signed up for Robinhood. I've made this video. You can go watch it. Again, link in the description. So you know where I'm at, that I'm basically now with looking at next steps to sign up, become a Robinhood Gold member. I'm looking to get things off into the running with all the IRA accounts and funding those, for taking advantage right now in the early part of April 2023, so that I can still make contributions and have that count towards my tax year. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say right now it's early 2023 or early February 2023? Ah, man, I'm way off. Did I say it is early April 2023? Sounded like maybe I said that. That was a goof. It is right now early April 2024. Apologies there if that was in fact the case, that I made that mistake. The whole reason I dropped that detail is simply to mention that I want to, at this point, yes, in early April 2024, I still want to make contributions that count towards my tax year 2023. I made a whole kind of PSA and video that went into the thinking, went into the kind of like heads up about that. I'll put a link to that video also in the description. So hopefully this isn't all confusing, but yes, I want to take some actions, go down that path. So this is to say there's a whole lot to do, so I don't want to get held up by just this simple, this is very necessary, but this sort of not so fun process just of simply, linking up the various bank accounts, external bank accounts to each other to make sure there's a source of funds for all these things I'm trying to do with on Robinhood. So yeah, so that brings us to kind of where we're at, where we sit, where we're going, and why this is on my brain, and why I want to share with you as to the most recent, the very nitty gritty details of how some things didn't exactly go to plan. That is, I've got a whole lot of my money, my potential source of funds for Robinhood. I've got it currently parked over in Wealthfront. Now I can go over why it's there, what it's doing, what my whole kind of thesis is, what are my needs, what are my wants, what's going on there. Maybe for another time, if you really need me to dive back into it. I feel like I already kind of said a little bit as to why, so if you don't know already, I can go into it another time or repeat all that. But for now, let's just move forward that the funds are in, they're wanting to go to Robinhood, but they're in, you could say kind of in limbo of sorts, because right now they're in Wealthfront and I'm having difficulty moving it over. And so this is where, yes, the expectations did not meet reality. I thought it could be an easy process, but no. My attempts to link over my Wealthfront cash account over into Robinhood, it did not go to my planning. I read up, there are some workarounds. You could kind of have it go through the debit card features and all this. I'm not too into that, so that's not much of a fit for me. So since I can't directly connect the Wealthfront cash account over into Robinhood just through external banks being linked, that seems to not be, that's a no-go. And expectations not meeting reality, that could be easy. So what am I to do now? Well, my thought is to simply go through another banking institution and just kind of pass through the funds. So my thought is, as of now, to use Chase. Now I already kind of took some steps to begin that, to basically move over from Wealthfront over into Chase, and then go from Chase over into Robinhood. Now the step of going from Chase to Robinhood, that part also had some issues, had some elements of where expectations did not meet reality. There was a little bit of issues with, I guess, the contents of the page, literally of what's on screen. When you go through the whole process to link these institutions, you use, I believe it's called Plaid, which usually goes pretty smoothly. It's very fast to link up these banks, these accounts, and you can approve kind of what gets, what the different banking institutions can basically see of the other side, from the other banking institution, to have it all linked. So I get it that, Plaid does this, that's their bread and butter, but for whatever reason I was having some trouble with using Plaid with Chase Bank. Well, I shouldn't say whatever reason. I got to the bottom of it. I basically figured out that my particular technology, my particular tools I use some web tools to block against trackers and just other things. I happen to use one called Ghostery. Now if you also, so that's what I do on top of Chrome browser. If you happen to use other things, I had the same experience with the Brave browser. So yeah, you could go about it in different ways and get to this point where you're blocked because the content on the page, what looks like the things you need to look through on the site, this is now through the steps, the processes, through using Plaid to connect to all these accounts. It basically has you log in to the banking institution, in this case Chase Bank, and it is going through steps to authorize that you are allowing this connection, this link. However, the contents on the page are not visible and are tough. Yeah, I'm a software engineer, so of course I went through and I'm like, okay, let me just simply inspect the elements on the page, see what's going on, use the whole developer tools, and navigate it through that. I started to go through it. It was a little bit tough, but I could make it through. Wasn't the most wonderful thing. Probably the easiest thing to do is simply just disable your tools, disable ghostery in my case. Yeah, that's a whole lot of technical in the weeds. What I want to part with you here is just, it was tough to use these tools. So my suggestion, if you want to value my suggestion for whatever it's worth, is that it's great to have something of a fallback, a fallback, a backup plan for when there's any difficulties or any issues with a particular tool, such as Plaid in this case, that there would be, so this is the suggestion to, I guess, Robinhood, that they'd have like a way to say, oh, not going well or unable to use the steered to tool of Plaid, basically go through another path, another avenue, and basically connect it manually. Yeah, it's a little bit more, I guess, slow. It's a little bit more steps. It has some more, I guess, difficulty in itself, but at least it is an open path to go down. It is a valid path to go down if you feel that, in fact, you are hitting enough roadblocks, enough really dead ends that you can't move forward when using Plaid, which I felt a whole lot, but I kept moving through, finding other kind of creative ways. But I imagine I'm not the only one that maybe had some issues. This was a very common, of course, banking institution I'm using, and a very common some tech tools that I use. So I'd imagine I'm not the only one. So yeah, they could definitely make things better if they have this kind of fallback thing. Okay, so this is just to quickly mention these parts, made it a little bit tougher. But eventually now it feels like I've got my Chase Bank connected over into, have it linked to Robinhood. So with that, I feel like now I can quickly move over from Wealthfront over into Chase. That's my next step. Chase over into Robinhood. That'll happen. So I'm going to keep marching through, but I wanted to take this kind of little pause, make this video just to say there have been these things with Robinhood that have been, little hiccups. It hasn't been a, smooth sailing. It hasn't been smooth sailing, and yeah, that's to say there is room for improvement. Overall, it's still fine. I'm still going to continue onward, but I want to present, the whole picture. So I'm telling it to you here that, I've been having some trouble with Robinhood in this specific way of linking in and putting my source of funds. But I'm going to march on and tell you more about my experience to finally go through and do the next steps of becoming Robinhood Gold and all that, Robinhood Gold member. All right, so with that, I'll leave you there to let you know I'm onward and upward, and I'll pledge to you to continue to give you more feedback of the good and the bad as to what my experience is with Robinhood and other banking solutions, other things that I have for you. Okay, I'll leave you there. Gotta run.